All right, so the Cleveland Guardians were defeated by the Pittsburgh Pirates 2-1 in their series this weekend. It was a strange series because the first game was postponed to Saturday, so Saturday was a doubleheader. The Guardians split that doubleheader, and then they lost today here on Sunday. And for me personally, the way I felt about this series was it was a wake-up call. It was a wake-up call series because I think the Guardians showed that they have the resilience to make things happen on Saturday, which I'll get into in a second. But then on Sunday, it was just a mess. So I want to just do a deep dive into this, talk about this. We'll talk about Gabriel Arias, and yeah, let's get right into it. All right, so the Guardians dropped game 1 on Saturday. It is what it is. Gavin Williams, he strikes out like 10 or 11 or something, but gives up, I think, 5 runs. That game, after the doubleheader, it is what it is. I wasn't too concerned about that game. Game 2, they're down 3-0. It's looking like another terrible offensive game. Then they come back and they tie it. And then Travis Bazzana comes through, bottom of the ninth, walk-off home run. An interesting send. They sent Patrick Bailey home in that bottom of the ninth inning. Didn't love that because, he was almost safe and he didn't slide, and the Guardians just aren't sliding right now. It happened with the Lauder today as well. But in my opinion, you had the top of the lineup up. You send, it was Quanu at the hit. You send Bailey home, who doesn't run well. And there's, I think there was nobody out, if I'm not mistaken. Why send him there? You know what I mean? I know the Guardians haven't been scoring runs a lot, so I get it to an extent. But, Bailey's one of your slowest runners. You have Bazzana coming up. You have DeLauder after him, coming up later. Why? I don't know. That was weird. But anyway, Bazzana saves the day with the walk-off home run. And I was thinking the Guardians, that was going to be a season-changing moment. I was thinking they were going to go on a hot streak and start winning a lot of games. And, that could still happen. But then Sunday, today's game happens, and my goodness, this was one of the worst games of Major League Baseball I've ever watched. Let's talk about the sliding thing first. We'll get into the Gabriel Arias stuff, which all of Twitter wants to talk about, understandably. But look, the Guardians lose this game 7-1. Joey Cantillo actually pitches fairly well. Let's see, he went 5 innings, gave up 4 earned runs, 7 strikeouts. Not a great outing, but he pitched okay. And then, against Skeens, the Guardians had opportunities, but Skeens ends up going 7, gives up 7 hits, which is pretty good for the Guards, but 8 strikeouts and only 1 run. All right, so let's get into the problems, because, my lord, this was not a good baseball game. So the sliding thing. Chase DeLauder runs who I want to play in this game. He doesn't slide. Bailey doesn't slide yesterday. What are we doing? That's something I'd be yelled about when I was, in Little League. When you're running home, it's a close place, slide. I don't understand what's going on with this team, and that's just, not even close to the biggest mistake in this game. That was just one of them. So the sliding thing needs to be addressed. Let's talk about Khalil Watson first. We'll get into the Gabriel Arias stuff, but Khalil Watson late in this game, and he's a younger player, so I'm not trying to call him out. This was just an example of what happened in this game. So Guardians, I think, were down 5-1 at the time. Watson hits what should have been a single. The right fielder's able to cut it off. He has to run pretty far for it. Watson tries to go to second base. Now, if it was a 2-1 game, you've been struggling to score runs, okay. But 5-1 game, there's no reason to risk being thrown out at second. And I believe the inning before, or maybe a couple innings before, the Guardians had someone else thrown out at second base trying to stretch a single into a double. So there's just no need to do this. Now, he's narrowly safe, which is, okay, fine. But still not a great play. And then Watson gets picked off. Now, the play was close at second. It was reviewed. I thought he could have been safe, but they called him out. Whether he's safe or out, though, as my phone goes off, whether he's safe or out, though, you can't let that happen. And that's a learning moment. Me personally, I'm not mad at Watson about this because I think this is a great moment to learn about when to do that type of thing. Hopefully Stephen Vogt just has a full clubhouse meeting, because the next thing we're going to talk about is what everybody wants to talk about, and that is Gabriel Arias. Now, I believe Chris Jimenez, this was going around Twitter, and unless it was fake, I believe this was real because I did hear a clip of it. Chris Jimenez, the Guardians' backup broadcaster, I guess, who fills in for Rick Manning at times with Matt Underwood, he said that Gabriel Arias is as talented as Mike Trout. like the potential wise. He didn't say he's as good as Mike Trout in terms of like what Trout's accomplished, but talent, which is a ridiculous statement. Like that's obviously just not true. Is Arias talented? Yes. Like I know Guardians fans just want to say, oh, this guy sucks. Like no, he does have talent. Like there's no question. When he hits a baseball, when he squares up a baseball, that ball goes very far. But it's the lack of effort and just seeming almost like not interested at times. There was a play in this game where there was a runner at third base. I believe the score was either 2-1 or 3-1 when this happened. It might have made it 3-1. But the Pirates had just hit a triple. And it looked like it was a snap. So Patrick Bailey, he does a snap throw down to third base. You see Austin Hedges do this all the time. Bailey can do it as well. It looked like it was a play that the Guardians called. Maybe not. I don't know. But I believe this was a play the Guardians called. Arias is nowhere near third base. The throw is perfect to third base, which makes me think it was a designed play, because why else would Bailey throw down to third if no one's there if it's not a designed play? Arias is nowhere near it. It goes into left field. The run scores. Pirates advance 3-1, and then they never look back. This was the game-changing moment for me on Sunday. But then the next half inning, that's one mistake, but it is what it is. Maybe it's miscommunication with the dugout. Maybe Arias just forgot. Not a good play, but it's like, okay, not the end of the world. You know, it's the kind of play that you can kind of look past to an extent, right? Well, then the next half inning, Arias, this was a play I posted on X. I need to kind of just break it down for you, so let me pull it up real quick. So the ball, he's rounding second base. The ball gets away from the second baseman. Okay? Arias goes back. Let me just watch this video so I can explain this properly. He touches second base, goes back behind the base towards the first base side. Then he runs to third base without touching second base again. Now, if you don't know, in baseball, if you cross a base going the wrong direction, so if you're already on the third base side and you have to run back for whatever reason, touch second base, you have to retouch it before going to third base. Arias doesn't do this. It looked like he just wasn't thinking about it in the moment. So he runs to third base. It was an exciting moment for the Guards. Looks like they got a runner to third base. The Pirates end up appealing the play. They saw what happened. Good play by them. Like, that was smart by them. Arias is called out. It was just brutal. Like the kind of play that just takes all the momentum away from you, and just not a good baseball play, you know? And then the Watson play happens after that, which I already just addressed. So I think what we really need to get into, because Khalil Watson is a young player, it is what it is. Gabriel Arias, he's been here for a while. Like he's not a rookie. You know, he's been here now for a while. And again, the talent, it is there. He's not Mike Trout, Chris Jimenez, sorry, man. But the talent is present. Like, he can be a good baseball player. But, man, when you're hitting 232, 276, 404 across 34 games played this season. Now, he did miss time with injury earlier in the year. Only 5 home runs, which, you know, again, he only has played in 34 games. But it's not like he's producing enough to argue that keeping him in the lineup is a good decision. Now, obviously, Jose Ramirez is injured right now, so he's been playing third base. I get it. But there's been a lot of similar things with Arias where he just doesn't look like he's either, I don't want to assume what's going on, but like it looks like there's times where he doesn't look like he knows the next play. And anyone who's played baseball knows that you always need to be one step ahead. You need to know exactly what to do on the next play. And there's too many times where it doesn't look like he's doing that. And then sometimes it looks like he's not giving enough effort. Now, I don't know if he truly is not giving effort or if he just isn't thinking about the next play. I don't know. I don't want to speculate on that because only he knows what's going on. But whether it's a lack of effort, whether it's a lack of knowing what to do, you can't have that if you are in Major League Baseball or even freaking, I used to play travel baseball. The stuff that he's messing up on, I would have got yelled at. In travel baseball, when I was like junior high age, I would have got yelled at. You're in Major League Baseball making millions of dollars to play this game. You need to at least give effort. If you struggle, that's a whole different conversation. Struggling, going through a slump, it sucks, but it's like, okay, at least this guy's trying hard. That's why I think Stephen Kwan is such a great example. Stephen Kwan always gives everything he has. He's had a really tough season. He's been great in July, though, by the way. He's now hitting, I think, over 400 in July. But even when he was struggling early in the season, Kwan continued to give everything he had. You never questioned Kwan's effort. He was playing his butt off in left field. At the plate, he was trying to make things happen, whether it's a bunt, trying to get a guy over, whether it's just trying to foul pitches off, stay alive, whether it's trying to, go the other way, like whatever it is, Kwan's always giving everything he has, and there's never that lack of effort. And I just mentioned Kwan because he's another guy who struggled, but very different feeling from the fan base, right? The fan base, I still think, really likes Kwan. Some of them are saying, okay, well, the talent has dwindled and maybe you need to move on. Like, that's been the biggest argument, but no one's saying Kwan doesn't give effort. With Arias, the talent's there, but the effort is questionable right now, and that's what you can't have. So the question really becomes what to do now with Arias, right? Do you give up on him? Do you trade him? I don't think you DFA him. He's too young for that. Too much potential. It's a tough conversation. I wouldn't DFA him, but I would consider trading him for sure at this point. I think a lot of teams would be interested in the talent, and you could probably get something good back, If you can't trade him, then I guess you just play him off the bench for the rest of the season. I just don't think DFAing him yet is the right decision. I know a lot of fans are saying they want that. I just think the talent is still there, where the potential, the Guardians need all the offense they can get. That's the point, right? If they were a better offensive team, I'd be like, okay, you can probably consider that. But right now, Arias' offensive ceiling is higher than a lot of players on this team, which I know seems crazy right now, but it's true. The ceiling is higher than a lot of players on this team. So I think giving up on him in that sense right now, where you just DFA him, it's just risky. But again, I think trading him, then you get something back. That could be a conversation. Or you keep him and you play him off the bench. He's not playing every day once Jose comes back at third base. So that's what I would do, but I get it, And I just want to finish this video just by talking about Travis Bazzana and the fact that a lot of people were doubting his All-Star game, if he deserved it truly. And to be able to come out of the All-Star break and immediately hit a walk-off home run, that's pretty awesome. I think that silenced a lot of people. Second base is weak in the American League anyway. Bazzana did play well when he earned the selection. He then had a little bit of a slump after. But I think overall Bazzana is still definitely an all-star caliber player. And I just think him hitting that walk-off home run was pretty dang cool. So just want to end this video on a good note. But overall, a very difficult series for the Guards. The White Sox won today, so we are now one game back of Chicago for first place in the AL Central. And Cleveland will look to get back on track as soon as possible.